these men. Now he gives us more information, so we'd have to sketch it all out, because he's filling in the allegory for us. Watch. And if there were honors and praises among them, and prizes for the one who saw the passing things most sharply, and remembered best which of them used to come before, and which after, and which together, and from these was best able to prophesy according to what was going to come, do you believe he would set his desire on that, and envy those who were honored men or potentates among them? Would he not feel, as Homer says, that he would much prefer to be the poorest man to a landless lord than be master of all the dead that lie here? When he looks back, right? The poorest, what would he want? He'd much prefer to be the poorest, serve to a landless lord, a man who has nothing. What would it be like to be a slave next to someone who's absolutely poor? What would you be doing? What would you be doing? I imagine those things which the poorest man wouldn't want to do himself. Pardon me? A curious kind of slave, a landless lord, right? All right. Yes, he'd accept anything rather than live like that. All right. Just consider, if such a one should go down and sit in his old seat, would he not get his eyes full of darkness coming in suddenly out of the sun? Oh, yeah. And if he had to compete with those who had been always prisoners by laying down the law about those shadows while he was blinking before his eyes settled down, and it would take him a long time to get used to things, wouldn't they laugh at him and say he'd spoiled his eyesight by going up there and it wasn't worthwhile? And would they not kill anyone who tried to release them and take them up if they could somehow lay hands on him and kill him? They would indeed, see. Now he steps back, and now he's going to give us a reflection on the whole thing, because once you develop all of the terms now, you have the terms and you have the drama about what it would be like to go back down, he now then is going to consider the whole thing and raise the level of the meaning of the allegory. You must always do this when you have an allegory. Then we must apply this image, my dear Glaucon, to all we've been saying. The world of sight is like habitation in prison. Oh, this is like the world of sight. Now we're getting names of it. All right, then, this is like the world of sight in some way. That's curious. The firelight there, right? Is to the sunlight here. He's making an analogy. This is like this is like this. He's building now from the allegory an analogy. The ascent and the view of the upper world is the rising of the soul into the world of the mind. That's what it's all about. What is it? That's what he's saying. It's the rising of the soul into the world of the mind. Therefore, we have now the first meaning of the allegory. That's what he's telling us right there. Right? This whole thing is a way to represent the journey of the soul into the world of mind. That's terribly important in terms of the whole work. What does he mean by it? What's included in it? As you go up through this, what would you be encountering? Now I want to go back to that. That's a central part of what we're going to be doing. I just want to highlight it now by pointing out that in this division that he's making, all right, in this division he made, I'm going to call this the firelight. I'm going to raise it a bit just for my diagram, all right? Then I'm going to represent this realm at night We're going to represent this realm of night as another section of this line, and those living in the upper world in the sunlight, I'm going to consider that to be the highest. All right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 divisions. That's what he just gave me. Put it so, and you won't be far from my own surmise, since that's what you want to hear, but God knows if it's really true. At least that appears to me to be so. Now, he's now going to help us fill in this last stage. He's made the divisions. He's indicated them. This is like the world of sight, right? He's giving us the terms we need. We need to add more to them as we go through it. Now he goes back into the allegory. He's going to pick on the sun, the highest term, and he's going to address himself to what is it that it represents. So what are we getting now? We're getting identifications for the symbols or the images we're using in the allegory. Look at the way he does this. In the world of the known, last of all is the idea of the good, and with what toil to be seen. Oh, then this must be then related to knowing, and its object must be this curious thing that he talks about called, with a capital I, idea of the good. Now, the idea of the good in Plato, and he's going to make this point clearer, is the most brilliant light of being. That's what this is. That's what it means, idea of the good. It means to behold the good. What is it? The most brilliant light of being. Now, being is the nature of ultimate reality, capital B, always a capital B. So, what's this top thing he's saying? That's knowing. Knowing what? The idea of the good. What is it? The most brilliant light of being. Ah. And seen, the idea of the good, and seen, it's an object of experience. It's capable of experience through the mind alone. And seen, this must be inferred to be the cause of all that's right and beautiful things for all. And it gives birth to light, and the king of light in the world of sight, and in the world of mind herself, the queen, produces truth and reason. And she must be seen by one who is to act with reason publicly and privately. So as we go through this allegory, he's going to fill in each one of these sections. And as he fills them, he's going to help us see how they function. Now look here. He says now he shifts. It appears to be he shifts, but then he explains himself. He says, hey, you know, the real problem is that we have something that's essential. We have something essential to man. Only it's in the nature of the way we've been educated, it's turned in the wrong way. It's turned towards the visible. We direct it towards the world of becoming. Now the world of becoming is that world where things come into existence and pass out of existence. That's the visible world. He said, we have an eye of the soul, and so long as it's turned towards the visible or the world of becoming, it's in a body.